Hello, Taurus. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Taurus is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. It is totally free, does not cost anything. If there is anything you would like me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is a timeless reading. This energy was activated the moment you clicked on this video. Try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Taurus, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. 5 of Wands. You are somebody with a lot of fight in you. You're somebody who is striving to overcome challenges. You're a fighter, right? I think that you're someone who does not like conflict. I think you don't like confrontation. I think that you enjoy the finer things in life, but you also know when to step on the gas. You know when to bring it, right? You know when to put the extra effort in. You know when it's not time to slow down and take it easy and relax. It's time to double down. It's time to try to speed things up. It's time to make more progress, right? So with the 5 of Wands, it's knowing how to operate the gas pedal, you know. It's realizing that if we want something, we've got to use our time, effort, energy, and or money, right, to make things happen. This is that card. This is the fight card. But this is, to me, also the card of striving. We're asserting ourselves. We are putting ourselves out there. We are doing the work. We're showing up every day, and we're working hard at something. Let's see what kind of results we're getting, or let's see what you're doing and what other factors are present in your life. Okay. 2 of Pentacles, change, right? Harmonious change. You're making things happen, fire to earth. This is manifestation. This is magic. Using your will, right, against the opposition, right? The fire cards are very often kind of one against many, right? You're overcoming the odds to create positive things in your life. You are making decisions. You are asserting yourself. You are exercising your will, exercising your autonomy to make your life better. The 2 of Pentacles is improvement. It's positive steps. It's harmonious change. You're being proactive. Yeah, somewhere in life. Let's see. And we got that 8 of Pentacles. Very good. 4 of Pentacles. Nice. Then more fire. Ace of Wands and an 8 of Cups. So I think you're realizing that this work is emotionally taxing, right? This is something that, at the end of the day, you have to just feel how you feel at the end of the day and realize that tomorrow I got to start the grind all over again. I think the monotony is starting to get to you a little bit. But I think you have no illusions about what this work is. It doesn't matter what you're doing, really, right? It doesn't matter what the earth energy is. If this is going to the gym, if this is trying to become an artist or a musician, or learning your craft, practicing your craft, trying to get good at something, building your life, building your business, working on your career or your education or your physical health, you realize that it's not a glamorous job. That it really is. Progress is made in the grind, in the monotony, in the repetition of things over and over and over again. That's how you get good. That's how you turn pro. That's how you succeed. That's how we progress. Okay, let's keep going here. You've got a Queen of Wands, 7 of Wands, Queen of Pentacles, and the Art or Temperance card at the end. Very good. So the Art or Temperance card, first of all, I feel like you got to reward yourself a little bit. You've got to make sure that you find some ways to just have fun, have a good time, care for yourself. Go buy yourself something nice. Go treat yourself. Okay, take yourself out to dinner. Take yourself out to the movies. Do something to relax. Do something that just kind of rewards all of your hard work. Okay, and very often, well, hard work is its own reward, right? Well, yeah, but it doesn't hurt to sort of to indulge yourself or pamper yourself a little bit, right? Treat yourself. Yeah. So that's an important factor here, because I feel that we're starting to realize that this is not a glamorous job, that this is something that requires you to just persist and always be operating that gas pedal. It's kind of like someone who's driving. I come from a long line of truck drivers, right? My dad, my uncle, my grandfather, all driving long haul, over the road kind of transportation. And you realize that just driving itself, it may not seem like much, but it is exhausting, right? And it's just kind of the same thing over and over and over again. Gas, brake, shifting, turning, red light, green light. And it becomes so monotonous that it really does, it exhausts you physically, but more than that, it kind of exhausts you mentally and emotionally too, And one causes the other, and they sort of exacerbate each other. So it's very important that if you're driving truck, that you stop sometimes and you rest and you go do something and you sit and you enjoy this random diner that you're in, or that you just are able to stop and lie down and watch some TV or some YouTube tarot readings and unwind. Okay, it's very important because tomorrow I got to get back in the truck. I got to drive another 1,000 miles or however many miles, I don't know, in a day. I've got to drive another 1,000 miles today, and it's going to be just monotonous. It's going to be a lot of the same stuff. I know you're passing through different parts of the country, but eventually it all starts looking the same. The trees, the people, the cars, the neighborhoods, everything starts looking the same after a while. And that leads to not only physical exhaustion, but emotional, mental exhaustion and boredom, okay? A loss of interest. So very important that we find ways to counterbalance that with just some self-care, okay? And even some distractions, right? Let's select our mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor, infinite and unknown. We're going to set it down right here with our little octopus friend, the Eight of Pentacles. And now we're not going to look at that card until the very end. We'll tie everything together. We'll give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. If at any point during this program you feel like you might know what that card is, I want you to put your prediction down in the comments. All right. Let's look around the room. Interesting, with the major arcana, all we have is that art or temperance card, which is basically the pressure cooker, right? Knowing that, okay, every day I'm in the pressure cooker because I'm doing this for a reason. There's a reason why I'm here. You're not doing it just because, right? The truck driver is driving truck because that's the profession that they've chosen or that chose them. So it's like, I'm choosing to go and do this every day. I'm choosing to transform myself and my life in this manner through this activity. Okay, but I think it's also the art or temperance card is about balance, because the monotony, the repetition, kind of the boredom, the tedium of it, is going to wear on you at some point. Okay, and that's what we see here with fire, earth, fire, earth, fire, earth, fire, earth, fire. It's all fire and earth. Even this card is fire. It's Sagittarius. It's all fire and earth. If that's all we're doing is sort of that repetition of energy into an activity, my energy into an activity, and it's just fire and earth over and over and over again. It's no wonder that we're starting to feel a little bit of the Eight of Cups. Okay. But I think this tedium and this boredom is a very important sign, though, because it's one step away from the Nine of Cups, happiness. Happiness, right? And if we can get through this tedium by finding ways to keep ourselves healthy and happy and to get out and stretch and do other things and to care for ourselves and indulge ourselves and treat ourselves a little bit, if we can get through this Eight of Cups, on the other side of this, real happiness. I don't think you're driving a truck. I think you're working your way towards something. And, maybe you are learning a musical instrument. Maybe you're trying to learn to play the piano or something. It's a lot of repetition. It's a lot of over and over and over and over again, trying to perfect the same thing over and over, same chords, the same whatever, learning the same songs or whatever it is. You're doing it over and over and over again. And we reach that point where all of this repetition starts to feel just lousy. We start to feel stuck. We start to feel like I just can't do it anymore. I'm tired. My body hurts. My mind hurts. My heart is just not in it anymore. Okay? But if we keep doing it despite that, if we stick with it, whatever we got to do to keep ourselves sticking with it, and that's sort of going with our art or temperance card too, that we have to find a way to keep showing up every day, right? We'll have that breakthrough moment that makes it all worth it. We'll reach that level of proficiency, that mastery, that virtuosity, where all the tedium is now paying off. Now you can play that piece on the piano perfectly. And now you've reached a level of skill or a level of progress where it's kind of like a new world opens up to you. Because now you know the chords, you know the songs, and now you can just sort of close your eyes and you can play and you can just have fun, and it feels more like art, right? It feels more like art than it feels like practice, sort of going from amateur to professional, right? And I wonder if that's what you're doing. I wonder if you're about to hit that breakthrough from that 8 of Cups to that 9 of Cups, that superabundance and satisfaction, that feeling of happiness, living the dream. I'm doing it. I've become that. I've become that person now. I can play. I can enjoy this. And it's going from just sort of practicing the thing to really making art with it, to really being a creator, to really being able to do it. And I think it feels wonderful for you. And I feel like you're so close. So close. But the tedium of it is starting to wear on you, right? We've got the major arcana. We've got fire, 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 a little bit of water. We don't have any air. We've got earth, 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 and earth. A lot of fire, a lot of earth. No air. Why is there no air? Because I think that you're not trying to think about it. That you're just kind of saying like, okay, I feel bored and it's just starting to feel lousy. I feel the tedium. I feel the weight of this. It's so emotionally draining. But here I am the next day doing it again. Like we're not entertaining ideas of quitting. We're not trying to give expression to those feelings, and maybe we need to. Maybe we need a little bit of swords cards here, right? So that we can say, yeah, I feel this way. I've got to do something about it. What can I do? The swords card's very much about asking questions, right? What can I do to keep myself going strong when I'm not feeling like doing that anymore? Okay, so maybe we need maybe one little sword card, maybe one little ace of swords in that mystery card to give us the question and answer. What can I do to keep myself focused while I'm in this phase of things where I don't like it anymore, I'm not having fun anymore, it feels like I dread waking up and having to do it again, but how do I keep doing it? Because I want to keep doing it again. And that's the thing, that this is your path. This is something that you are doing intentionally because you know that this is meant for you. Whether this is a skill or a talent or an art form that you're trying to sort of develop, or business that you're trying to start, a career that you're trying to advance, or some education that you're trying to accomplish. Whatever your path is right now, you're in that phase where it's tedious and repetitive. Okay. But what you're doing is you're realizing that you need to keep this fire burning because you're making progress. And I think you can see the progress. You can see that you're getting better. I'm practicing the piano every day. It doesn't feel like I'm creating art, but it feels like I'm getting better. My fingers are moving a little bit easier on the keys. I'm learning the chords and stuff. Like I feel like I'm getting better. We're doing the right thing. Okay. You're improving your life. Whatever you're doing, you're improving the quality of your life. You're transcending your current position in life, and you're going after more. Okay, whether it's a career or in a skill or in an art form or a sport, whatever it might be, you want to get better. You want to take another step forward. You want to see how far down this road you can go. Well, you're so far down the road now that you're just like, it's just more of the same. It's just all the trees that go by just feel like more of the same trees. Feels like I just keep driving around in the same neighborhood. Feels like Groundhog's Day kind of thing here. But the Eight of Pentacles down at the bottom, you realize that it is through repetition, it is through doing the same thing over and over again that you make the most progress. They say practice makes perfect. I like to say practice makes progress. The more we practice, the more we will progress. Right? And I think there is a kind of a breakthrough moment where you go from being sort of amateur to being professional, where you go from being just practicing to now actually making art. But even when you are a master at something, the more you practice, the better you'll get. You can learn new styles, learn new techniques, you can innovate, you can use your creative genius. So there's no limit to the progress. This tree can get as large as you want. You keep watering it. It's like a goldfish in a bowl, right? You keep feeding the goldfish, it's going to get big. You're going to need a bigger bowl. So I don't like to say that there's some end position. There's some ending state. I don't think there's a finish line for you. But I think you're ready to make that transition from just the boredom, the tedium, the monotony to like now I'm creating art. Now, yeah, I'm going to still be, even when you become a master, you're still going to go through the tedium and the boredom and the repetition of things, of course. But reaching that level where it's fun again. Reaching that level where now it's like whatever I can imagine, I can create. Now it's kind of, you're tapping into that real artistic technique. Yeah. We're developing the technique right now. So we're focused on growing this tree. And I think that you knew it was going to take a long time. The best things do. Right? Like a fine wine, right? You gotta let it age. You gotta let it work, and and so you have patience. It's wearing thin, I feel, right now. But you do have patience, okay? And what we have to do is sort of ask ourselves, what do I need in order to keep the patience? What do I need to do in order to have more patience? Because I feel like it's starting to become too much. Okay. I don't know the hot peppers. You like to eat hot peppers or pepper or something like that, or somebody around you is known for like spicy food or something. I'm not so much into. I like a little bit of spice, but I like to have something nearby that I can drink or something when it gets to be too much, And that's kind of what we're talking about here in a way, right? We like the intensity. We like we like the idea of the progress. And I think being aware that you're growing, that you're getting better, is motivating. Okay. But with an Eight of Pentacles, even though we realize we're getting better and we know maybe theoretically that I'm getting better, yes, I'm learning the chords more, but it still feels like every neighborhood's the same. It's like you're driving the truck. Yeah, you're getting from point A to point B. You're not going in a circle, right? But it doesn't take away that emotional experience of this is the same neighborhood over and over and over again. The trees, I hate these trees. It's the same tree. It doesn't prevent that frustration, And so maybe, again, another reason why there's no swords cards. You know all of this, but it doesn't take away from how it feels. It doesn't take away from the reality on the ground, right? Theoretically, we know, yeah, we're taking steps forward, we're making progress, and we're trying to, we're trying to give expression to this Ace of Wands that's up here. This is that creative source. This was your big idea, your will, your decision, your inspiration to do this thing. This was like, I'm going to be a truck driver, right? Or I'm going to learn piano, right? That great idea, right? That big light bulb, sort of that electrified moment, that spark that says, hey, I know what I want to do. And I feel that this is really, it's something creative in a way. Maybe it is business. Maybe it's exercise. Maybe it's cooking. Maybe it is your career or your education or your family or anything. It could literally be anything. But the fact is that you have this spark. You have this creative interest in it. You want to do it. And you've made the decision. And you said, I'm going to apply myself to this path. I'm going to see how far I can go. Okay? You're so far down the path now that the path is starting to look very much, kind of have that highway hypnosis in a way, right? It's starting to look very repetitive at this point. But I think when you look backwards at this Four of Pentacles, you can see how much progress you've made. You can see that you've gotten further and further away from the safety and comfort of home, right? This is the house that you left, and you've made this journey. You've walked step by step by step through the daily repetition. Some days it felt like maybe you're going backwards. But you just keep going and keep going. And now you're at this threshold where it's just like, come on, something's got to give or I'm done. Okay? The Four of Pentacles was the risk that you left the safety and comfort of a nice, stable, seemingly stable life. And you added some chaos into it. You took a 4 and you made a 5. You took something that was solid, stable, it was routine, it was a habit, it was comfortable, familiar, safe, stable, secure. And you created chaos. You created uncertainty. You created change. That's sort of what the magician does, right? I think you are a magician. And you have this fire to earth kind of thing. You're saying, I want to do something different. I want to transcend my present circumstances. I want to improve the quality of my life. I know that whatever this is, if it does not grow and expand, it's going to stagnate. It's going to rot. This is going to rot. If you don't maintain the house, eventually moisture's going to seep in, the termites will get in there, and it'll rot to the ground. You have to be always sort of working on something. You have to be sort of doing something, growing in some way. You know? Because the Four of Pentacles is just that. It is the routine and the habit of life that is not pushing out into the unknown in any way. Okay? Well, we said this is routine and monotony too, right? Yes, but this is the kind of routine and monotony that is leading to growth. This is like the maintenance of the house. This is like I'm just coming and going and doing what I do, but there's no expansion, there's no growth, there's no upgrades, there's no progress. This is stagnation and isolation. This is organic growth. This is just habit. Okay, this is also habit and routine, but in a way that is, I think, inspired. It is this, that we've realized where this temporary stability is in our life, and we said, I'm going to keep doing work to grow a little bit. I'm going to do what I have to do to sort of to keep the progress moving. And we realize that that's how life works. The only stable thing is change, right? Change is the nature of nature. It's the fundamental force of the universe. We can't stand still. If we're standing still in this comfortable and habitual way, we're really going backwards. The only way is forward or backwards. There is no standing still. Okay? So I feel like this was inevitable for you. I feel like you said, you know what, I've got to keep marching forward. And maybe this is, you're trying to take some aspect of your skill set or some aspect of your life and you're trying to level it up. Maybe this is a brand new thing. Maybe this is really you entering a dark, scary forest, having no idea, suddenly, I want to learn how to play piano. I've never even seen a piano. I don't even know what a piano is, but I'm going to learn it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to get good at it. It could be something completely unknown to you, right? Or it could say, hey, you know what? I sort of dabbled in piano when I was a kid. I think I want to do it again. I think I really want to now really focus on it and really get good at it. Tired of just being sort of, stagnating, where my skills are diminishing, where every day that goes by, I sort of forget more and more about the piano. I got to get back into it. Okay, got to get back into it. And then we get into it and we realize that, oh man, it could get boring, right? Getting good at something, at first it feels like exciting. I can't wait now. I'm going to get that piano and I'm going to practice. It's going to be great. And for a few days, maybe it is just the most exciting thing you've ever done. But very soon, the monotony will set in and we'll start to feel this ache. of Cups. This is sort of the draining of the water energy. This is making us feel as if I'm losing interest. I'm liking it less and less every day that goes by. The month of October is significant for you. Why is that? Something happens in October for you, yeah. And you've been dreaming of birds, right? The birds for you, I think, or birds are an important symbol for you in your life. I don't know if maybe you've been dreaming about them, maybe not. I feel like you have, but maybe you don't remember the dream. But birds are important for you. This is the feeling, like I said, day to day, I'm liking it less and less. Like, that's terrible. What am I going to do? You know, by force of habit, by sheer willpower, you're still doing it. And that's the key. Eventually, the water's not draining out of these cups. It's filling up. And eventually, this is going to overflow, and you're going to get that 9 of Cups. Really hope the mystery card is going to be that 9 of Cups. Let's go to the path of the serpent. As we talk about these cards, I would like to ask for your subscription. If you haven't subscribed, please do. It is free. Okay, so your general energy is the Queen of Wands. One, I think that this is you after you have found a way to renew your interest, to renew your aspiration. It's kind of like you take a couple days off from work. When you come back to work, you feel energized. You feel like you can do it again. This is when you have a really good vacation. And when you get back to your work, you feel charged up. You feel supercharged, confident, standing tall, ready to go, because you've refreshed that love. And see, the queens have water in them, right? It's water of fire. And I feel that this is the encouragement. This is the excitement that we feel when we finally are like in the flow. When it feels like I'm hearing some kind of music, or I'm reading some kind of music, and it's just flowing out of me, and I'm able to play it. And it's almost like it's not just the slow repetition, looking at the music and trying to figure out where to put my hands, making mistakes and going back and starting that second. No, now it's just like it's flowing out of me. It's this creative flow. This fire energy is flowing like water, right? And I think that's kind of like, that's the transition. When we get to the other side of this 8, when we get that 9 of Cups, I feel like that creative flow is happening, right? And this is somebody now that is just like, you sit down and you don't have to read the music. You could play. It's like you get to that point where you could just improvise. You're just composing on the fly, you know? It's a certain level that we reach doing something like this. It's so like now you're performing the art for real. Now you're doing the thing for real. You're not practicing, you're not training, you're doing it. And it could be anything, you know, really anything. It's kind of like my daughter, she's 4 years old, she's learning how to read. And it's going from like looking at each word and sight words, heart words, sounding them out, and reading and sounding out each word and going and doing it again and again and again and again. Okay, that's one thing. But then when you can open up the page and just say, you know, the quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog, and you can read it and you understand it. That's like, wow, that's like that's a breakthrough moment. Because before we're just sounding out the, a, q, u, a, quick, and we don't, it's not really, we're not experiencing the thing, right? There's comprehension, but there's not like just that flow that makes us feel like, oh wow, like that's a sentence that had a meaning, and I read that, and it was kind of smooth, you know. So it's different if we're just sort of practicing and doing the thing and learning the thing, versus just able to read the whole sentence. That's what I'm feeling here. That there's now that flow. That now we can just sort of play it, and it feels like we're doing it for real now. You know, and I see that with my daughter when she can read a whole sentence and her face lights up because she read it and she knows what it meant, and she read a sentence of information, and it clicked, you know, versus just sort of chunking it out and sounding out each letter, and then at the end of the sentence, Okay, now we got to go and read it through so we know what it means. Like we hear the sounds, but there's not that, it doesn't click that way. So that's what I feel this card is. And I feel like that is really that is the marker for you. And I think it happens after just a lot of this repetition where something finally clicks in that way. Okay? You've got a 7 of Wands in your environment. In terms of your relationships, I think there was a lot of people that sort of told you couldn't do it. I feel like you had to overcome a lot of obstacles, right? And this card sort of represents like the odds were against you. I think you had people were against you too. I think with that 5 of Wands, even at the beginning there, I think you had to fight. I think you had to overcome a lot of challenges. Like maybe it was just such a struggle just to get the darn piano in the house. It was such a struggle just to like clear your schedule so you can have 5 minutes to practice or whatever. It feels like every step of the way there was an obstacle for you, right? But the obstacle is the way. It's kind of like, and I don't know if you have a connection with rock climbing or rappelling or some kind of mountaineering or something, because I'm seeing somebody that's climbing a mountain, and it's just kind of like, if there were no obstacles, then it would just be like you took an elevator up the mountain. What's the good? What's the fun of that? How was that rewarding? Why would you climb it? Why would you be a mountaineer or a rock climber if you were just going to clip on to a line and someone pulls you right up to the top? Okay, big deal. No, the whole point is the challenge. Where the heck am I going to put my hands and my feet, and how am I going to my body in this position? Like, and the fear looking down. I'm going to fall. I feel like it's through these struggles that really make this worthwhile for you. The fact that you had to encounter a block, an obstacle, a speed bump, but you found a way to do it anyway. You figured out where to put your hands, if you just suddenly sat down at the piano and you were just, suddenly you're Elton John, right? What's the fun in that? I mean, yeah, that's what we're hoping to one day sort of achieve, maybe not at that level of skill, but we're hoping to just one day be able to sit down and just play and have fun and be in the flow and have it just click. But it's so rewarding to have to go through all the challenges to get there. Okay, to figure out where to put my hands, to go through that process of learning, it makes the playing so much more fun. It makes when it does click and you're in that flow, it's so rewarding. You have no idea how happy you'll be. Okay? But you got to keep going. You got to keep doing it despite whatever obstacles are in front of you now. Okay? The fear, the worry, the concern is that we will never reach a state where we feel that we've accomplished something. We feel like we'll never arrive. See, the Queen of Pentacles is one that has arrived. Looking back over the long and winding road, all the ups and downs and twists and turns that it took to arrive. You finally get where you're going, like the truck driver finally gets to the destination and looks back at the map or whatever and says, man, I went through all that road. Like, holy smokes, that's a lot of miles. That's a lot. It didn't feel like it at the time. It felt like just monotony, repetition. It felt like, maybe struggles, obstacles. It just felt miserable at the time, right? But then looking back, we're just kind of like, wow, I did that. I went through all that. I did all that driving. I made all that progress, right? So it gives us a satisfaction. It gives us this kind of understanding and appreciation for the struggle. We realize that it was through all of those twists and turns, all of those ups and downs, see that long and winding road that you took to get where you are. That's what makes it sort of worthwhile, But the fear here is that we're never going to arrive at that place. The fear is that we're never going to really feel that we've made it, that I've excelled at something, that I've gotten good at something, or that I've reached that stage where I can just sort of sit down and just play and have it come out of me. Okay? And in a way, we never really arrive at that final stage. This card is a card of the turning point. That sometimes we have to acknowledge, I've arrived here. It doesn't mean my path is over. This is the time where we sit, we look at the road we've traveled, and we appreciate it, and we're thankful for what we've been through, and we're feeling really good about where we've arrived, right? But then it's also turning toward the future and saying, let's keep going. There's always more to learn. There's always more path to travel. There's always more road. There's always more mountain to climb. Okay? But for you, I think that feeling of having arrived is part of when something just clicks. And it's like with my daughter. She's going to have arrived when she's able to take one of these age-appropriate books for her reading level, and she's able to read the story and understand it and have fun doing it. It still will be challenging, but guess what? She's got to move on to the next advanced book. Bigger words, you know what I mean? More complex ideas and sentences and paragraphs and structure and stuff. So there's always more road to travel. Just because you can read a first grade book doesn't mean your journey of learning to read is over, right? And we never stop learning. We never stop growing, right? So what are we doing? We're going back in the fire. We got that art or temperance card at the end. And to me, this is kind of like back in the pressure cooker. Immersing yourself in this yet again. Keep going. Keep doing it. Take it as far as you possibly can in this life. And I feel that this is, this is where you are perfecting your art. And it's an ongoing process. It's like a fine chef. You're never done learning. Even as a master chef, you still have to practice. You still have to learn new techniques, new ingredients, new cuisine, innovation. But this is where you really start to get creative, right? Because you're no longer a student. You're on the road to mastery. And now it's not time for you to learn the basics. You reach this point now, and it's time for you to start creating your own voice, using your own voice, creating your own masterpieces. You've learned the basics, and now those skills are how you are really creating your masterpiece, creating your art. Yeah. Let's look at the mystery card here. What do we want it to be? 9 of Cups, obviously, or a 10 of Cups, or I think any really good water energy would be good. I think it might be air. Yeah. If you have a prediction, put it in the comments. Let's take a look. It's the Moon card. Interesting. Well, this is that dark, scary forest. Okay. This is fear. This is all the things that will come to try to haunt us, all these things that will try to scare us, that will jump out at us to try to get us to run back home. Okay, when we're out here in the dark, scary forest, everything seems like a monster. We don't know what's lurking behind every corner, behind every bush, every tree. It's something waiting to just jump out at us. But here you are doing it anyway, conquering your fear. And I think conquering the fear is or facing that fear anyway, is one of the biggest reasons, right, to do this. You think the mountain climber. If it were easy to climb a mountain, everybody'd be doing it. You won't catch me doing it. No way. Right? By facing that fear, you're putting yourself in a league where a lot of other people aren't going to go. Okay? And if you're not a little bit afraid of it, then is it really worth doing? Is it really worth the effort? You could do something very, very challenging, but if you're not if you're not scared of it, if you're not mystified by it, then it's kind of like you're putting in all this effort, but for what? Nothing is really, you're not benefiting from that. So I think the fear is really a really good motivating factor, but it's not so much fear really, it's the unknown, it's the mystery of it all. Yeah. I think this card is also talking about your imagination. And I think that when we reach a certain level of skill, we're able to tap into our imagination, our unconscious. And that's where the creative, that's where the art, that's where the genius comes from. You're learning the skills, you're learning the foundational stuff, the basics, that will allow you to tap into your own creative imagination and express that on paper or on the piano and music or whatever you're doing. Tapping into that mystery, right? And being able to give expression to that. That's kind of That's how we know we've arrived, I think. When we now have the tools to dig into the unconscious and bring forth whatever's in there in this sort of artistic fashion, right? It doesn't mean that you're not in business or in school or something like this, but I feel like it's the same energy. Yeah. This is really, really good. I love this reading for you. We're going to do an extended, too. We'll do some oracle cards. We'll do an Jing reading. There's a link in the corner. There's a link down below. New readings for Taurus on Monday and Friday. Be sure to watch both readings. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do. It is totally free, doesn't cost anything. Leave a comment and let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you, and we're all in this together.